what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Eric Devendorf, your host of the Scorers Table podcast. And tonight we have on another great guest. We always have a great guest on every single episode. But this young fella, he's a freshman now at the Cuse. He came from IMG Academy. He's originally from Charlottesville, Virginia. So we're happy to get him away from UVA. But we'd like to welcome on the show, the Scorers Table podcast, freshman Justin Taylor. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yes, sir. Happy to join.
Absolutely. So let's start back. We'll start back in Virginia, bro. Talk about just growing up in Charlottesville, you know, how that was and how you really, I guess, got interested in the game of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, growing up, I was just always around it. I probably had a basketball in my hand before I could even walk, just because my mom played basketball in college. Mm-hmm. My sister also played in college at William & Mary. So, she's 5 years older than me, but it was always, us two playing basketball, finding anywhere to play. At first I was just, playing for fun when I was younger, obviously, just anywhere I could go, trying to find a basketball hoop. But, when I was introduced to my trainer, Damon Allitizer, who also ended up being my high school coach, we kind of clicked when I was 12, 13 years old, and it kind of just took off from there. But it's really just, love at first sight, almost just always wanting to have a basketball in my hand, always trying to find a way to play. So just growing up, having that kind of basketball family and being involved in it all the time was obviously helped me a ton. But yeah.
Yeah, so you talk about your mom, she played at James Madison. So was that kind of the inspiration for you growing up? Were you able to kind of see her play? I don't know if you had footage of her when she played at college or whatnot, but was that the inspiration for you to get going?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I never saw any footage of her. I know you might not.
You gotta ask her.
No, I'm gonna try and find some stuff. I know she didn't pass the ball for sure. I know she definitely didn't pass the ball. She told me that, but just her always being. She coached my sister too when she was for AAU. So, I always followed them around to going to tournaments, going to practices. But I mean, like I said, I think it was just always being around them and always wanting to play. I think I always played basketball and lacrosse. Those are my two main things, and I love lacrosse. Okay. But because my mom always she didn't want me. It looked like I'm just playing basketball because she played or whatever it was. So I played all types of different sports, football too, baseball. But after a while, I just couldn't. I just wanted to play basketball. That's all I wanted to do, just because. Obviously I saw my mom and sister do it, but that's all I wanted to do. So, yeah. So at what age, you talked about 12 years old, I guess, getting with your trainer, is that the age that you're really locked in? Because you talked about playing all these other sports. You're an athlete. I guess at what point did you drop those other sports and decided like, all right, I got to lock in. This is what I really want to do. Yeah. Up until high school, honestly, I was always playing lacrosse and basketball. I think once I got to St. Anne's, my freshman year, they wanted me to play lacrosse bad, but at that point, I just wanted to, strictly just focus on basketball because I knew that's what I wanted to do in the future. Obviously my trainer was there, my coach there, so we had that connection, and I just, I was tired of having that one season off where I couldn't play basketball.
Yeah.
Like I got behind and stuff, so I just wanted to be able to train during that time and play AAU and all that type of stuff. So. Obviously, when I was 12, 13, I started getting more serious, but once I got to my freshman year of high school, that's when I was like, all right, yeah, this is what I definitely want to do. So, yeah.
So you probably, I mean, I see your body type, bro. You're 6'5", 205, you're strong. You got a great build. You would have been a really good lacrosse player. I never saw you play, but you probably could have went Division I lacrosse. I mean, Syracuse is one of the best lacrosse schools in the country,
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, I loved it. Up until, like I said, my freshman year, I loved playing. I go travel to tournaments, all that type of stuff. I was on, one of the top teams, all that. But it was It's kind of similar to basketball too. A lot of people say that, just like the defensive stuff, the kind of the plays we run is kind of similar to basketball, so that helped. But yeah, I mean, I like to say if I kept on playing, I could have played, Division I somewhere, but we'll never know. So
Did you have any offers for lacrosse ever?
nah, I think because they
Yeah.
kind of start offering later. If
Okay.
I think like sophomore, junior year or something, but never got any offers for it.
So what did your routine become like? Say when you get into high school, when you really start to lock in, like, all right, this is what I got to do. What does your daily routine look like? Waking up. Are you shooting before school? How did that work for you?
Yeah, so a lot of mornings, probably 2 or 3 times a week. I would go to the weight room with my trainer. One of my trainers, Kenny Zabo. He holds a program in Charlottesville called Adapt. So I would go with him before school just to get weights out of the way, and then go to school, try and get shots up before practice, with Damon, or kind of depending on what the schedule was, I would try and get shots up before or after. So obviously there'd be practice, but me and Damon always found a way to get an extra workout in there. So during preseason, obviously I was probably working out, including practice, like 3 times a day, really just lifts and then or conditioning, then practice and an extra workout. But and obviously in the summer, it was just trying to get in the gym anytime, shooting in the morning, getting a lift in, then, extra skills workout in the afternoon. And that was usually with, some type of player that worked out with. I worked out with a lot of UVA guys growing up. My guy Angelo Brizzi, I worked out with him. Who he was at Villanova, he's at Davidson now. So,
Okay.
but yeah, just trying to find any type of way to get into the gym, really.
Yeah, I forgot to ask, and we'll kind of run it back a little bit. When you were growing up, did you and your mom and sister ever have any backyard battles or anything? Because you said your sister's 5 years older, so I could imagine her beating up on you a little bit. I could really imagine your mom beating up on you a little bit.
Not yeah. When I was younger, my sister and I definitely used to go at it. We used to try and play 1-on-1. My mom would come out there and we play horse, pig, whatever it was. And she could shoot it. I'm not gonna lie, she could definitely shoot it. I mean, I don't know about now. She don't really come out there anymore. She'll probably just watch if she come out. But
Yeah.
it's funny. I was at the last time my sister and I ever played. She was a sophomore at William Mary. I think she was on Christmas break, and she hurt her ankle. We were playing outside, and she went back, and obviously her coach was pissed and all that. So
Oh
that was
man.
like the last time I was like, I'm not doing this ever again. But obviously after a while, it was always getting the win. But they both can definitely shoot it. So that we've definitely had a lot of fun battles out there. But yeah.
And your sister, she's at SU now with you, right? Did she go to SU?
Yeah, she's in Syracuse. Actually, Mrs. Boeheim set her up with an internship because she's doing speech pathology.
Okay.
So now she's got a real job with it. So she's up here with me. So she's enjoying it though. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up, man. So the family's up here with you. That makes it even better for your first year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's what's up. So, bro, let's talk about St. Anne's a little bit, because you started there your freshman and sophomore year. Junior year got canceled because of COVID. Senior year, you ended up going to IMG. Let's talk about those first 2 years, though. Talk about being a freshman and really coming on the scene and having a major impact, and then talk about your development going into your sophomore year, eventually your senior.
Yeah, my freshman year, we were honestly both my years, but freshman year we had a good team. That was kind of when I first started getting comfortable with everything. Being more confident in myself, shooting the ball really well. I think my freshman year I shot almost like 50% from three. So obviously that caught the eye of a lot of people, because at that time I was strictly really that's all I did was just catch and shoot. So but I got more confident in myself. Then that summer going to my sophomore year, obviously I worked on my game a ton with Damon, just improving on everything. So my sophomore year, the first we had like 2 home games. Went to a Sleepy Thompson tournament, which is in the DMV, which is a huge tournament there. And that's honestly kind of when I blew up. I jumped from like unranked to like 45th in the country from that tournament.
And that's sophomore year?
My sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when it kind of just blew up. Obviously, people knew about me, but not like on the national scale, I guess. So that's when, going to that tournament, playing well there. That's when I kind of got a lot of buzz, got some more offers. Like I said, jumped to, actually on the, top 100 list. So the sophomore year, obviously, we were super talented. Also, had a lot of players, a lot of good players, and that's when I kind of just kind of jumped on that scene. So, yeah.
So that's when the kind of recruiting process started to really pick up. Which you would say freshman year it was probably local,
Yeah.
schools, and then like you said, you went to that tournament. And now more nationally, you're getting your
Yeah.
recognition from colleges.
Yeah. Before that, I just had, like you said, local schools like Liberty, JMU. My mom was happy about that,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Schools like that. But then, I had GW, but then it was that sophomore year, and then AAU that summer after, definitely that
Yeah.
first session. That's when it started. Syracuse,
And
UV.
who were you playing with?
I was playing. So first year I played with Team Loaded going into my sophomore year. And then after that, I went with Takeover. So my
Okay.
last 2 years I played with Team Takeover. And that, playing on EYBL, obviously it hurt with COVID. We don't actually have a real EYBL season, but we still held tournaments. We still played games for, live streams and stuff. So coaches were able to watch. So, that's when that summer going into my junior year, I got, Syracuse, UVA, UNC started getting interested, Indiana, those type of schools. So that's when that kind of, recruiting process definitely picked up, going from, like you said, local schools to those actually, high majors.
So and then junior year, so you're on a roll.
Yeah.
Sophomore year going into
Yeah.
going into summer, playing good in the summer, and then COVID happens. Junior year is canceled.
Yeah.
What kind of is like in your mindset? Having a whole year taken away from you. Not being able to play. I mean, what was the routine like then? Were you able to
Yeah.
get into the gym? I mean, how was it?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, because I remember like going into spring break my sophomore year, and they're like, we might have like an extra like a week or two off, and it ends up being a whole damn year. So that obviously you don't really know what to do just because you're kind of trapped in the house.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm looking forward to the junior year, trying to find ways to play. That get canceled, so that hurts. But that summer, that COVID summer, obviously I was trapped in the house for however long, but I was just trying to find a way. I was constantly trying to find a way to get into the gym, whether it was shooting outside. But then, fortunately, my trainer Damon was able to get us into a local gym because actually, two of the guys he trains, Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter, who played at UVA,
Yeah.
they came back to Charlottesville to work with him. So honestly, we were just going to like a little local gym. It was me, them two, Ty's little brother. He came back. It was just trying to find a way to get in. So we would work out whenever we could. Some days it was, 2 times a day or whatever it was. But I was fortunate enough because I know a lot of people did not have a gym. So, for a while it was shooting outside on the basketball hoop, but luckily after a while I was, able to get into that gym. So at that point it was just trying to get in there anytime. But it was actually funny. Damon, when COVID first hit, he started holding like Zoom workouts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he would set
Yeah.
us up. We would do like Boeheim workouts, whatever it was. So it was any way we could, get a workout in, we were doing it. So
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was for that little bit of time or however long it was. Zoom workouts. I remember doing that with the kids, just to, if anything, just to keep that mental strong, knowing that you're doing something to,
no, for sure.
stay active, stay fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So now, so okay, that blows over. Well, not really. I guess we're still dealing with it, but you get into your senior year. Now you're going away. You're
Mhm.
going to IMG, which is a powerhouse, one of the best basketball schools in the country. Schools for everything. It's a top academy. I
Yeah.
guess what went into that decision to go there, and then how was that transition for you? Still being in high school, but moving away, going away from your family.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the toughest decisions I've had to make in my life for sure. Just moving away from the people that I've been around my whole life, my family, the guys at St. Anne's, That took a while. I honestly decided super late. It wasn't until probably August, but one of the main reasons for it, just because we didn't know if Stab was going to have a season again, because they had issues with it. I was talking with the AD, I was talking with Dame, and they didn't know. So that, I couldn't go 2 seasons without having a season. I already got my junior season canceled. I couldn't do senior season too. So I knew IMG would find a way to play games at least. So I think just going there and being around guys like Quadir, I knew we were going to Syracuse together, obviously. That helped, being around really good players. So I think it was good for me just to kind of get used to the college experience, being on my own, taking care of myself, being around other really talented guys, and practicing with those guys every day. I think that just kind of helped me with the, college experience and the college schedule. Obviously I would have, if COVID never happened, I would have probably stayed at St. Anne's just because I wanted to finish out my high school career there, but there was too many uncertainties with COVID and everything. So, IMG just definitely still helped me out. Just, I was able to room with Quadir, like I said, and we got super close. So it was a good experience for me and, prepare me for for Syracuse.
Yeah, a blessing in disguise if you look at, you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
sometimes you got to look at it from a different perspective, and that happened for a reason, got you ready for where you're at now, contributing the way you are. Talk about, being there, bro, because team takeover, team loaded, that's high level. So you've played against high level players, but now it's every day in practice.
Right.
Even at your school in Charlottesville, you might have some good kids, but overall it's not. You're not going to have as much as you are at IMG. Talk about, the learning curves and the adjustment period you might have had, playing there, and then just, being away from your family. You have a bad practice or you have a shitty practice, and now you go back and it's just you. You know what I'm saying? So how were you able to adjust and deal with that?
Yeah, like you said, that was one of the, another reason that I went there, just being able to practice against high level guys every single day. Obviously, we were on the post grad national team, and there's a high school national team. So we were able to practice against the high school guys a lot. So that was good. They're obviously all super talented, but being able to go against the guys who are on the same level as you, going to high major schools, also just getting prepared for it. Obviously, like you said, when I was playing for Takeover, when I was playing at St. Anne's, I was competing against those high level guys against games, but practices weren't really the same. So those practices helped me a ton. If I didn't have a good practice, I had to deal with it. That's how college is too. It's gonna happen all the time. That's basketball. We're competing out there. One day you might kick their ass, and one day you might, they might kick your ass. So it's
get your ass bust. Yeah.
It is what it is, and that's that's why I love basketball though. It's just competition. Being able to go out there every day and go up against those guys that's what it's all about. So that definitely prepared me for Syracuse. We're out, especially in the preseason here. We were competing every day. We were going up and down, playing. And I loved it. That's just what basketball is. So IMG definitely prepared me for that type of scene. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, bro. Just, especially when you're playing high major basketball, competing, bro. A lot of times that's the separator. Who's going to keep going? Like you said, when you're getting your ass busted, are you going to lay down, or are you going to keep competing and keep going? And I think it's a big thing, especially for young guys. And that's what I've seen from you guys. You're out there competing. Maybe you're not executing flawlessly or making the right rotations defensively, but what's going to keep you in the game and keep you right there, which you guys have been able to do, is competing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a big thing. I think sometimes young guys, they struggle with that. I think, you guys as a freshman class as a whole, have shown a lot of grit and just went out there and competed. So I think that's awesome, man. So talk about okay, senior year, you commit to Cuse, right? You commit to Cuse. So who are, I guess, your top 3 schools, and how the heck, with you being from Charlottesville, that's where you're in the backyard of UVA. I mean, how did you slip away from there, man? How did Cuse was able to get you on campus? How'd that happen?
It's funny. A lot of people honestly kind of hurt the recruiting process in the beginning, just because it's like people were almost scared to offer me just because they thought I was just going to go to UVA right when they offered. It's like, Coach Ben's been recruiting this kid since he was 12 years old. I'm gonna go there right when I get the offer. But I always said that my options were open. I wasn't just locked in on going there. And Syracuse, it kind of came down to Syracuse, UNC. I loved Indiana also, obviously UVA, but Syracuse, it was just the relationships I built, especially with GMAC. Having an opportunity to work out with him every day and being around a guy like that was something I couldn't pass up on. Just how he recruited me, the relationship that was built. He recruited me probably for like 2 years. So it's just like, we had that relationship, being around guys. I talked to Buddy about, Syracuse a lot. He would always text me and FaceTime me and talk about it. And then when I took my visit, kind of just fell in love with it. Coach Boeheim showed me what, his vision for me, being around the guys on the team. Obviously not a lot of them are here right now, but still, Joe, Jesse, I knew Benny. And the good thing was too, once I committed, I knew I wanted to, try and get the guys that I knew, Malik, Quadier, Judah, all those guys. So that obviously helped me a ton, but I knew, this was the place for me, especially after my visit, and just how badly they recruited me, how bad they wanted me. I knew that, I was loved here and that, that I would be taken care of. So that kind of just sold it on me. So.
Yeah, speaking of coach, how was that, man? Your first interaction, because I played for coach 2005, 2009. So that's a while ago, what, 15 years, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So he's a little bit younger, maybe a little bit more vibrant.
Yeah.
He's always, I guess he's always vibrant. He's always got that. He stays active. He stays in shape.
Yeah.
What was your first interaction like with Coach Boeheim? Was it, were you nervous? How were you feeling, and how was he?
Yeah. So GMAC was the one that offered me originally. He called me, and then like the next day, Coach Boeheim called my mom and I. And it was kind of crazy just to after I got the offer, I kind of did like some research on Syracuse just 'cause I didn't really know much about it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of crazy just like talking to a guy like that, just looking at all he's done, his resume, and how many guys he's coached, how many great players he's coached. So it was kind of crazy just talking to him on the phone. And then meeting him in person was a whole different experience on my visit. Just, seeing his office, seeing Syracuse, being around him. And a lot of people don't realize, like, obviously there's critics out there and all that, but he actually is, super personable. He's able to talk to. He knew that he wanted me to come here and, make an impact right away. And he's really honestly just easy to talk to, outside of basketball, obviously just, and I knew that, I could trust him and come here and, play for a guy like that is kind of just a dream come true. Just all he's done. He's obviously a Hall of Fame coach, coached a ton of guys into NBA and all that. So, it's a dream come true playing for a guy like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge that you can soak up. And it's funny because, bro, when I was playing, I was, you didn't really talk to the coach. You talked to, if anything, it was the assistant coach. At the time it was Coach Hopkins, Rob Murphy, Bernie Fine.
Right.
But when I graduated and played pro for a little bit, came back, finished my degree, went back. You're right. He's a personal dude. Like, I got it back on staff. I was able to, kind of meet him, kind of get to know him a little bit more. And coaches, he's a good guy. He's not gonna. I mean, he's a guy that's not gonna he's not gonna go up and talk to anyone if he doesn't want to talk to you. He's not gonna talk to you. But
you gotta respect that. Yeah, I mean,
exactly. You got to respect the realness, and I think a lot of people will take that the other way. But I mean, a person who understands, if you know, you know. I mean, it's a respect thing. So
yeah, and it's special to see just a fan like you said, everyone comes back. Like all his players come back and are involved in the program. They'll come to the games, they'll come to practices. So it just shows, they all have that level of respect for coach. And like you said, how real he is. He's not gonna lie to you by any means. He's gonna tell like he sees it. And some people can't handle that, but that's just how he is, and you gotta respect it. So yeah.
That's it. Some people don't know how to deal with that, and that's not his fault. That's up to them to adjust.
Yeah.
Talk about, okay, you had a great year at IMG. That year was good in your maturation of getting ready to go to Cuse. Now you get to Cuse. You get into your summer workouts, preseason conditioning. What was that like for you, kind of when you really started getting into it? Ryan Kabilis, he's the man up there. He
Mhm.
really started, getting you acclimated to the conditioning and stuff. How was that transition for you? And how did you feel right away the difference from being in high school and getting into the college level?
Yeah, so I was here both sessions. So I was here for a huge part of the summer, but it was good for me. I wanted to do that just because I wanted to get as much experience under my belt as I could.
Mhm.
Like you said, working out with Kabilis, working out with GMAC, and just getting acclimated to everything was huge for me. I think I kind of prepare myself well for it, working out with my guys back home and IMG. Just kind of the schedule. I was used to it. I guess you could say more so than other guys if they didn't have that type of experience before. But it was still, definitely getting adjusted everything, getting adjusted to conditioning part. That was definitely something. Obviously, we're out there on the track during the summer a good amount. Getting conditioned, getting stronger, getting faster. But summer was huge for me, just improving my game a ton. I think from the start of the summer to the end, it was good for me. It was almost like a extra level of confidence because I could feel myself improving.
Mhm.
Just shooting the ball better, being in better shape, being faster, all that type of stuff. So I think spending the whole summer here definitely helped me going into preseason when school actually started. So yeah, it was good for me.
So your first time playing in the dome, the exhibition game, you score 7 points.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like for you, being in the dome for the first time and, having that energy?
Yeah.
First bucket goes in. Was it like kind of like a sigh of relief that you got that part over with and then you could just go out there and hoop or what?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you go out there, you're just thinking like, as a freshman, you're like, I just want to score my first basketball basket
Yeah.
here, and so like, I'm obviously trying to find ways to score, hunting for my shot, all that type of stuff. So when the first basket goes in, it's like, all right, bet now I'm kind of in the groove of it a little bit. I can play just kind of way off your shoulders a little bit. So it's something one less thing you got to worry about. But honestly, when you're out there, after you get a sweat and you're kind of just out there playing, you're not really thinking about anything. At least for me, you're just trying to eventually win the game. But playing in the dome for the first time is something I don't know. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people who never played there don't experience, don't understand it, but it's really is, especially when it's packed. We've
Yeah.
had some packed games. Obviously, it's kind of a different type of energy, especially with our students there and everything. But yeah, it's one of a kind for sure.
So I think you've done a great job this season, bro. Really earning your way into playing time and getting some quality minutes. But really, it was early in the season. You were able to kind of establish yourself and
Mhm.
show coach that, hey, I need more of an opportunity. Against Bryant, 25 points, shooting the ball well, but you got to the line 13 times, 10 of 13. So you're showing people that you're versatile,
Mhm.
can put the ball on the floor a little bit, get to the rim. After that game, did that really kind of have you feeling like, all right, I belong here? When given the opportunity, I know I could go out there and add value. And, after doing that, now going forward, it's kind of like whenever I get in there, I know I'm going to do my thing.
Right. I think I knew I could do it because I was doing it, in practice. I was, showing coach that he could trust me in the games in practice. I was confident in myself. And I think the main thing you gotta keep on working and show coach that he can trust you. I think trust is the main part to earn that playing time because if coach doesn't trust you out there, then he's not gonna play you. So just proving myself in practice that I could play both ends of the floor. Obviously most of the season I've been playing at the three, but that Bryant game I was able to play at the two a lot just because Judah was out.
Mhm.
So I think playing the two allowed me to have the ball in my hands a lot more, and put the ball on the floor, show what I could do. Just because that's what I kind of did in high school more. I was playing, more of the shooting guard, and obviously was able to make plays. So after that Bryant game, obviously we lost. We shouldn't have lost that game, but it was kind of for me personally, it was kind of like, all right, I've showed people what I can do. Now it's like, keep on going. Don't be satisfied, but keep on going with what I've shown. So but obviously most of the season too, I've been, obviously just strictly, shooting threes, catch and shoot, all that type of stuff. That's mainly my role. But that game was kind of just good for me just to have a lot of experience and at the two guard spot, showing what I could do playing both sides of floor, making plays. So, coach told me that too, just going forward next year, for how long I'm here, playing at that 2 guard spot mainly. And so I think, that was a good, I guess, um, for the future, that's what he's looking at. So
Yeah, a reminder to let these people know, like, hey, I'm coming in playing my role, but I still got this in my bag,
right.
when given the opportunity. And you
Yeah.
talked about, coach trusting you, and you're absolutely right. He has to be able to trust you. When a coach trusts you, you're going to play more. How do I get that trust from coach? Consistency. When you're, regardless if you're playing 5 minutes or you're playing 25 minutes, are you consistent in those 5 minutes? Are you consistent in those 25 minutes? If you're consistent in those 5 minutes, 5 minutes is going to turn to 10. 10
Yep.
minutes is going to turn to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're being able to do. And I think a big part that I've seen from you this year is, yeah, we know you can score the ball, you can shoot the ball, but going back to that competing aspect,
Mm-hmm.
defensively, even in the zone, sometimes even if you're not rotating right, you're still competing. And I say this all the time. You make up for a lot of those mistakes by just going hard and being active and competing, getting to the ball, dropping down, rebound the best. What do we, need from our forwards?
Mm-hmm.
We needed rebounding. You were able to go in there and be physical and mix it up a little bit. You're 6'5", 205. You can rebound the basketball. That gave you more opportunities. What'd you do with more opportunities? Now you're shooting the ball well. It all comes together when he sees you adding value. Now you can, do a little bit more out on the floor.
Not for sure. I think, that's been preaching to us forwards the whole season, just trying to rebound better. Obviously Jesse can only do, but, so much. He's averaging like 11 rebounds right now. So us forwards, you got to, go in there, compete. I think that was the main thing that, like you said, got me that playing time in the beginning of the season, just because, coach needed that from the forwards, and I was able to go in there and be competitive, get a couple of rebounds, show that I could, compete with those dudes, that forward spot. So that's where that trust kind of, or that value started, coming in. Just even if I wasn't scoring the ball, I was at least going out there trying to compete, get rebounds. And then, like you said, once I got, more and more trust, more and more time, I was able to impact the game on the offensive end too with my shooting. So it kind of all comes together, whether it doesn't really matter if games are going to vary. I might play, we've seen already, past 2 games I played 30 minutes before that, but before that I played, 5 minutes. So it's just kind of, you always got to be ready for whatever, coach sees out there. You never really know, how many minutes you're going to play, especially, in my kind of position. Obviously the starters are going to play, most of the minutes, but, coming off the bench, you just got to be ready for any opportunity when coach calls your name, and go out there and, add value and, make yourself proven. So, yeah.
And talk about that a little bit, because that's tough, bro. Like to,
Yeah.
Play 30 minutes one game, and then the next game play 5 minutes, or you might not play, or you might go the whole game and get into the second half with 10 minutes left, and then you get thrown in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the rhythm, you don't have the flow, your body's go. How do you prepare for that and not really knowing, and what's your mindset like going into each game, knowing, the minutes might be up and down?
Yeah, obviously it's different than any role I've kind of played. Obviously high school is different. I'm playing, the whole game. I'm one of the main dudes, whoever it is. But, coming here, I'm surrounded by obviously, some of the top talent. So, obviously in the beginning of the year was kind of frustrating just because, as a freshman, your goal is to, play as much as you can. So when you're not playing as much, that's frustrating. But, obviously I'm not going to, break down from that. Just try to, continue to prove myself to coach and show that, I belonged out there. So, but it is tough, throughout the season. Like you said, I might play 2 minutes in the first half, but then, if it happened against Notre Dame, late in the middle of the second half, I went in and had to play in the second half. And, I just stay confident, stay ready no matter what's going on. And, try to just, stay level headed. I think that's the main thing. You can't let yourself get too high or too low, because, it's just going to happen. You might play 5 minutes or 30 minutes, it just kind of depends on the game that's going on and, how coach feels. So, just staying level headed, always staying ready, staying confident no matter what's going on. I think that's the main thing.
Bro, let's talk about the freshman class real quick, because it's a talented group.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of ups and downs this season, but a lot of promising things that I've seen, you know, on both ends of the court. I mean, guys are athletic, they're moving, they're active. And the biggest thing is from the beginning to now, the team has gotten better immensely, I think. You know, obviously there's situations where we need to work on, but
Yeah.
you guys have gotten better. And that freshman class has a huge part in it. I mean, it's been games where it's been 4 freshmen on the floor, a lot of games where it's been, you know, 4 freshmen on the floor playing a majority of the minutes. Talk about that class and talk about your guys' relationship. You talk about, you know, you and Quartier being roommates at IMG, but talk about the whole group, you know, your guys' relationship, and then kind of how you're able to lean on one another, you know, going through the season and going through the ups and downs.
Yeah, I think one of the most special things about us is just the chemistry we had even before we got here. You know, me personally, I knew Malik. I grew up with Malik basically. I knew Quadir, knew Judah from playing together at Takeover. And then, you know, I kind of knew Peter and Chris just from, you know, social media. We visited here together also. So that camaraderie we had and chemistry that we had off the court already just kind of translated on the court in practice. And I remember actually, it's funny, one of the early practices in the preseason, they put all of us on the same team against, you know, the veteran guys. And it was fun for us. You know, we were out there competing, we're playing well together. We're shooting the ball, all that type of stuff. So I think if you were to see that practice, it's kind of be the future of, you know, what's going.
Well, what happened in that
Nah,
practice?
we won.
Yeah, that's what you can say it.
Yeah, no, we won for sure. But we were playing super well together. That was one of the most fun practices. But I think, like you said, we've had games out there where it's three, four of us freshmen out there, and we've won some of those games. Obviously, there's games that we're right there when we're out there, and we should have won. But you know, we're still out there competing. It's those games where we're losing by 3-4 points that's super frustrating. But you know, if you're looking for, you know, bright side, it's that, you know, I think next year we're gonna win those games instead of losing by, you know, 3 or 4 points, just because, you know, we're gonna get more experience under our belt, and we know next year we know how to win those games. You know, all of us are super competitive. We know how to play with each other, and you've seen it this year. Just we're out there competing no matter what. Obviously, there's gonna be mistakes. You know, we're still learning, obviously, but you know, just the chemistry we have is definitely special. And just moving forward, I definitely want to keep on playing with these dudes because you know, we definitely are special again. We can definitely win some games. And
Yeah, so you know, you talk about sticking together. What do you think this freshman class can really accomplish if you guys do stick together going forward?
Special things for sure. I think obviously the main goal is to, you know, make it back to the Final Four and, you know, do what Syracuse has done in the past. And, you know, obviously the huge goal is just to win that national championship. I know that I think we can do it with the talent we have. And I mean, that's what Syracuse basketball is about. Obviously you know, last year was, you know, kind of down. This year has been down, but I think we have the talent level. We have the chemistry. We have all that type of stuff. So, you know, this year we've shown those flashes. I think there's been games where we've shown it that we can do it. And we've had those times where we just can't close out games. But like I said, moving forward, you know, once we get more experience and everything, once we, you know, learn how to win games, that'll be the main thing. Just learn how to close out those games and, you know, actually just, because we have all the, you know, key pieces. We have every piece we need, and that's what makes it special, I think, just moving forward.
Even when next year, if Jesse decides to stay or leave, I mean, Hema is a good piece to come in and just be that protector in the middle.
100%.
We have enough around, I believe, that could score the basketball and you know, make up for that scoring Jesse's doing.
Yeah.
So, bro, we're in the later part of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, it's probably like 7-8 games left, maybe 9. I didn't look at the schedule. 3-part question here. First question is, what do you feel that you have done at a high level this year? Second question, what do you feel that you have to improve on going forward? And then the third question is, what does this team have to do going forward? I know we're in a hole, right? They're saying NIT, but ACC is wide open. You can go to the ACC tournament and go ahead and win 4 straight games, and now you're playing in the tournament. What do you guys have to do to be able to give yourself a chance to get to that level and have an opportunity to make that run in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first part, I think, throughout the season, I've kind of just been consistent with shooting the ball well. I don't know the exact percentage, but I would assume it's probably high 30s or low 40s. So I think, I've been shooting the ball well, just kind of staying consistent with that. During high school, I kind of was a little inconsistent, little streak. I would have games where I would shoot really well and then, games where I wouldn't. But I think, this year I've kind of stayed consistent with shooting the ball in the minutes I've had. So I think just trying to be a team player is the main thing. Never, being selfish, just, looking for my spots. Athleticism, quickness especially on the defensive end, impacting the game on the defensive end more so. And then just, I guess just, improve my all around game, next year having more of a role with the, handling the ball more rather than just, spotting up. So I think, this summer going into the next year, I just want to, make more plays with the ball in my hands. I think I'll have that more of the opportunity next year for sure, rather than this year. I guess, just as a team, I think, like you said, we it's definitely not over yet. We can still make a run in the ACC tournament. I know that's what Syracuse has done in the past. Just,
No doubt.
we always peak at the right time, and that's obviously our goal. We're not done at all by any means. We're still fighting. We still want to, win these last, I think, 8 games and, make a run at ACC tournament. Hopefully, get to the tournament. That's the goal. And we're not by any means. We're not quitting. I know we know that we've had a lot of games we should have won. UNC, UVA, Miami. That would have helped us, but the season's definitely not over at all, and we know that. And we're gonna keep on fighting no matter what. So,
bro, I got a comparison for you, and this he's in the NBA. And it's kind of like now he's in the NBA, but he's playing a role. He's almost like a 3-point specialist. But I look at him because he went to Virginia, and so you guys kind of have similar body types too. 6'5", 205. I think he's in that range.
Yeah.
Joe Harris. I think at Virginia he did more than shoot the ball at Virginia. He locked up. He put the ball down on the floor. He was one of the main guys. I think he was a guy that really excelled in Tony Bennett's system. He's a gritty guy who could really knock down shots, and he kept it simple. Now he's the top. I think he was the top percentage 3-point shooter in the NBA. Now he's playing more of a role, right? His role is, I guess, a 3-and-D guy, or a 3-point specialist. He's shooting damn near 46% from the field. But what do you feel about that comparison, man? Is that a good comparison, or am I way off?
No, yeah, I'll take that for sure. I'll take that one.
He's making a lot of money. Yeah,
he's making a lot of money. When you say comparison, I thought you were just gonna go with the classic buddy one. That's one I've been hearing.
Nah, bro.
But growing up, I would always go to UVA games. Like, I watched him, from he was a freshman to when he was a senior. So I'll take, just like you said, he was super tough. He could obviously shoot the hell out of the ball. And but when he was in UVA, I know, like you said, he's kind of a specialist now that he's in NBA. That's kind of what the NBA is. If you're not, a star, you kind of just specialize in one or two things. But he's shown that you can do that. But UVA, a lot of people know that, he, like you said, he can impact the game in a lot of ways. He was putting the ball on the floor. He was getting to the basket. He was playing defense. Obviously, you're not gonna play UVA if you don't play defense, but he could lock up. He played tough. So I actually did, growing up, I watched a lot of his game, and I would hear those kind of comparisons. My mom always said to watch him, just how he'd always move without the ball really well. All this type of thing is how well he could shoot it. And just, watching him, and I never got to. I wish I could have worked out with him, but never was able to. But I obviously watched a ton of his stuff, and he kind of just developed. And after UVA, he just kind of just developed into that role. He's playing really well with the Nets now, and he has a great role. And I think he started actually tonight. I was watching the game, so he's found that role for him. And when you can shoot the ball, that'll definitely take you places. So yeah,
absolutely. And we hopefully. Joe Harris, he hears this podcast, we're gonna put it out there so it can get to the
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets team or something, because we're gonna set up a workout in the summer. We gonna get that going. UVA, that's the UVA Charlottesville connection,
Yep.
Q's connection, whatever you want to call it. So we gonna Joe Harris, if you hear that, make sure you take care of my guy. You know what I
There
mean?
you go. There we go.
All right, bro. We'll get down to the nitty gritty. These questions right here, man.
All right.
Favorite place to eat in the Q's? I know you only been up here for a year or less than a year, but what has been a consistent place that you have been going? Is it the dining halls?
Nah.
Okay, all right,
We
bet.
can't even go in there. Actually, I don't think we're allowed to go in there.
Wow.
But easy spots is just like Chipotle around Marshall Street. Varsity's right there. But then, when my family comes into town, Francesca's is a really good spot.
Very
Prime.
solid.
I'm not going there, obviously, with my teammates or anything. That's only my family's in town. But
yeah,
if it's more casual, Chipotle, Core Life is a really good one. Love Core Life.
solid.
Healthy spot. But Francesca's and Prime are two really good spots.
Another good spot when your fam comes, Les Melange.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, Les Melange. It's
Right.
it's a new one downtown. Your mom, she'll like that one, man. It's your mom, your sister. You got to go out there.
All right.
No doubt. Okay, your favorite NBA player?
Ooh, I love Jason Tatum. Devin
Work
Booker
again tonight.
Yeah, I know. He went out. Devin Booker. Shoot. I love watching Clay and Steph. Those two are, I mean, there's a lot of good players, but those four, I guess, I watch the most.
Yeah, those are Clay, Steph. Okay, Devin Booker. You like a little Devin Booker in there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I respect it. All right, bro. Last question, man. I ask everybody this question before we get off the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you're a freshman, so you're still young, but you're at a place playing high level college basketball where a lot of kids aspire to be. Aspire to make it. They have dreams of just getting the opportunity to do it. What's your advice? For those kids who do dream about it. What do they have to do to get there, and what's some of the things that they have to do just to give themselves a chance and an opportunity?
Yeah, I would just say it's kind of a cliche, but to never stop working the grind. I mean, that never lies. I think if you keep on working, opportunities are gonna come your way, and you gotta get your name out there too. Just keep on finding ways to get your name out there, and kind of get you onto that scene, because obviously in the world of basketball today, it's important to kind of get your name out there on the scene, but just, get connections, keep on working. I think, if you keep on working, people are going to, see it, and just, obviously you got to produce it when the games do come, and just, never, don't listen to people, don't listen to critics. There's going to be a lot of outside noise, but, don't let that get you too high, get you too low, and just keep going, stay level headed, and keep on, keep your head down and keep working. So I say that's the main thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you've done great this year is, we talked about how the minutes could sometimes be inconsistent. How you deal with that, right? How you deal with the adversity, how you deal with the losses, how you deal with, all the outside noise, people coming at you saying this and that, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's a big thing going forward, because you dwell on all that stuff. How are you going to be ready for your next game? Going to Pittsburgh or going to North Carolina, worrying about what happened in the past. And I think kudos to you, bro, for being always ready. I think just watching you this season that you're not gonna make every shot, you're not gonna make every right decision. But what I love about you is you just go out there and compete at a high level. And all the guys have been great, but what I've seen from you is you're going out there and competing. You're not worried about if you're going to score or do this. You're going out there, you're playing hard, and it just so happens when you do that, shots start to fall. Opportunities start to come a little bit more. So, bro, keep doing what you're doing. I'm impressed with this freshman class. I'm impressed with the improvement that this team has made, and regardless of where we're at right now, I think going forward, the future is bright for Cuse. Keep working hard, man. I'm looking forward to continue to watch you improve as you continue your career at Cuse, bro. So I appreciate you hopping on, man.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, already. We gonna get you on again going down the line. Hopefully before you go to the league or something. All right.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure.
Oh man, appreciate it.
Thank you.